Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for the second part of our 24/7 series. Today, I'm going to be giving everyone a demo of the Acusera 24/7 software. It should last roughly around 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer. And afterwards, if anybody has any questions, I should be able to take some. So let's jump right in. The first thing to highlight about the Acusera 24/7 software is that it is web-based. Up here you'll see the URL is qc.randox.com. This means you can access the software anywhere. It also removes the need for us to install any software locally on site. All we need to do is give your lab a username and a password, just like you would log into any web-based application. And from here, you can access the software. We do recommend that you use Google Chrome for accessing Acusera 24/7, as Google Chrome is optimized for statistical analysis packages. So once you arrive on the home page, just like any other web-based application, you have your forgotten password link. Generally, your username will be your email address. So to select the forgotten password link, you'll just click here and it will take you to a new page asking for your email. Once you enter in your email and click submit, you will be sent a link to reset your password. Acusera 24/7 also comes in a choice of languages. There's the list there, which is continually increasing. So this list will, I'm sure, get big over the next few months and years. So once you're ready to log in, you've entered your username and your password, you'll be taken to the home screen. And with this software, it's important to note that we have designed this from the ground up. We have a team of software developers and web developers based at Randox HQ, so we have full control of the software. This is the overall platform that all of Randox packages will be on. Some of you may be familiar with our EQA program, RICUS, the linearity verifiers, and then we also have our RICUS point of care software already on use on this platform. But for today, we're just going to be discussing the Acusera 24/7. We have tried to make the software as easy as possible to navigate, and each of these tiles on the home screen is all you need to do to access any part of the software. At the top, your hospital or lab name will be displayed. And the first thing I'm going to show you today is just within the user section. Within the user section, your lab and details will be displayed at the top, along with the person who was the first in your lab to be given access, and they will be designated the laboratory owner. They will have full control over everything in the software. A list of all the people in your lab with access will be displayed, along with their role. And with Acusera 24/7, you can customize the roles given to each member of your team. Therefore, if you wanted to restrict certain access to certain people, you have the ability to do that. You can also deactivate any users over on the right hand side by clicking on this bin icon. And if you wanted to add any new users, you would just click the add new button. And from here, you will fill in their details, their email address, their first name, their last name, preferred language, select the role. It comes with 4 predefined roles. They are admin, coordinator, manager, and user, each with varying levels of access. And also, if you wanted to, you can create a custom role and give custom access. And in doing so, you would select the different areas below here and select which access you want to give that user. Once you're happy with your selection, you should click Save. And at this point, that user will receive an email address from Acusera 24/7 notifying them they have had their account created and providing a password for them to log in. Just like most web-based applications, the first time they log in, they'll be requested to set their own password. Now from here, I'm just going to click the back button and return to the home screen. Now at this point, before I jump into any more of the tiles, I would just like to explain the method for transferring your IQC data into 24/7. So there are three ways for the data to flow into 24/7. The first is manual entry, okay? And this is really to give you flexibility for the assays in your lab that maybe aren't connected to your LIMS or middleware, that you're not running all the time. And that's done through data entry. In data entry, you will just select the name of the test that you wish to add the results for, select the date and time that you run the assay. The count is generally 1 if you're adding one result at a time. However, you do have the ability to add the mean and SD of multiple results if you choose. For this example, we have selected albumin run on a Roche C311, and we'll say this result was run on the 23rd of May at 11:47. We will leave our count as 1, and therefore we are just entering in the mean of 1, which is the result. Let's say this result was 12.3. This is our level 1 IQC on the left, our level 2, and our level 3. If I did run all 3 levels, I can enter the results of all 3 levels. For this example, I will just click the tick, and that will generate a new line for me now. And if I wanted, I could enter my second line, and I'll just change the time. My level 2, 234 points. And I just click the tick button. Once I'm happy with all my results, I will click Save, and those results will be added to 24/7. The second way of getting data into 24/7 is called EDI. This facilitates the upload of multiple results from an Excel spreadsheet that's converted to a CSV file. This is very easy to do and something that we will assist you with if this is your preferred method of adding data to 24/7. From here, we will select the data that's stored locally. I'm not going to add it today, but that's how easy it is. It's just select the file and it will add the data to 24/7. And then the third and most popular way for data to transfer to 24/7 is simply connect or automatic upload. I can't show you that on the software because it's all done separately, but it involves an automatic output of the IQC results from your LIMS or middleware, which can be set up automatically or directly from your instrument. This file is converted to a CSV file and sent to a secure FTP site that Randox hosts, and from there the data goes into 24/7. This can be done as often as you wish. We have some customers transferring data into 24/7 every 15 minutes. Other customers will transfer the data once per day, and it's really up to each lab, their own preference and how often or infrequent the data goes into 24/7. So back to the home screen, and the next tile we have is a configuration. And for the purpose of today's demo, I'm not going to go into detail here. However, This is here for once you have a new customer and we need to configure the software to tell it which instruments you have, which assays you run, and which lot numbers you are using. It's important to note that Acusera 24/7 will come preloaded with all of Randox's IQC lot numbers. It does facilitate the use of third-party IQC, non-Randox IQC. However, we do encourage you to use this with Acusera 24 with Randox IQC. Initially, your account will be configured by Randox or your local distributor, and we will set up the data feed so that you have the data flowing in your choosing method. And once the data is flowing into 24/7, really what you want to see is the power of 24/7 to analyze this IQC data. So from here, the first report I'm going to show you is result history. So results history is designed to look at a single assay performance. Once you select result history, you'll be displayed a list of your assays, and you can expand this list as in most screens by clicking on the items per page and changing that. Okay, so right now we're looking at the first 50 items, and we can see at the bottom here we have multiple more pages. For today's demo, I'm going to show we will look at albumin again on the Roche C311. So if we want to look at albumin, what we need to do is double click on the albumin assay, and it will take us through to the next screen, which automatically displays the previous 30 days worth of results. We have a summary up above of what we are looking at. So we have albumin, which is run on clinical chemistry. We have our BCG method here, as well as our reporting unit. And we have the instrument name. We also have total allowable error and bias statistics applied above. And automatically, as mentioned below, we are looking at the previous 30 days worth of results. And below here, we have each individual line detailing our level 1, our level 2, and our level 3 result. Here we have details on how the data flowed into 24/7, and to see by hovering over this we can see this is 24/7 Connect, which is the automatic data feed function. The first column for the lot number 320UL, which is a Randox lot number, displays the count. Then we have the result. The SDs are 0 as this is individual results. Then we have level 2, count and result, and level 3, count and result. You will note we have some results that are black, however we also have some here that are amber. Amber represents a result that was alerted as per the multi-rules that the lab has created. I will show you the multi-rules later on in the demo. Any multi-rules that are alerted will appear as amber. Any that are rejected will appear as red. Just like the previous page, you have the ability to extend items per page, and for this we will extend to 250. And I'll just scroll down and we can see quite a lot of amber results for this lab. At the bottom of the screen we have a statistics function based on the data set above. This statistics function will give us a count of our monthly and cumulative stats for each of our 3 levels of control. For this we are looking at 43 results for the month, but 311 for the cumulative statistics. The cumulative statistics will begin when this lab starts using this specific lot number. Here we have a direct comparison of our running mean and our cumulative mean. Our mean here for the month is 26.4 and cumulatively it is 26.9. We also have SD, CV, bias, sigma, scores, total error, interprecision, uncertainty of measurement, uncertainty of measurement as percentage, and our expanded uncertainty of measurement or uncertainty of measurement to SD, and also that as percentage. Very quickly you can see how you can gain quite a lot of information in just a few clicks by selecting a simple assay and automatically being displayed 30 days worth of results. I will scroll back up and show you another function. So we have highlighted the result that was on the 24th of May 2021. However, if we were to highlight this result here on the 20th of May 2021, then our statistics at the bottom will now change. Everything will now be calculated up until that point in time, and this table automatically updates, giving us a new monthly and cumulative statistics. This feature should allow you to pinpoint if you have any problems with an assay, at which stage the problem started, and that should aid your troubleshooting with any problems you're having with any assays in the lab. What I will also highlight at this stage is the Excel function. Okay, located at the top right is the Excel icon. The reason, once you select here, the dataset will automatically be exported and you'll be presented with an Excel sheet of this data. Selecting this Excel sheet gives you all the data you were looking at in Excel format. So we have the assay details, the instrument details, the date and time of the assay, details on how the data went into 24/7, lot number, the count of results for that lot number, the result. So if it was alerted, we have here the reason for the alerted result. Here we have biological variation and 10x rules created this alert for the second result here. If we scroll over to the right, we have our level 2 details and our level 3 details. What I will also look for in this data set is if we have any rejected results. No. It doesn't look like we have any rejected results for this data set. However, I would point out that if we did, they would be highlighted in red. And the other thing I would like to highlight in this data export function is the second tab titled Statistic. Selecting here gives us the statistics of our data set as well as our cumulative statistics, which are here. For lot 1, we have our monthly statistics, which are here. And we have the statistics for the specific date range this report was run. So what we are looking at is our count, our mean, our SD, and our percentage CV. These are our level 1 statistics. Then we have our level 2 or lot 2 statistics. And then we have our lot 3 statistics. Very quickly you can see how 24/7 can give you multiple pieces of information in just a few clicks on one report. So I'll now return to 24/7 again. And just finally, to highlight before I move on, this page can be you can use any date range for this report. It just automatically gives you the previous 30 days. We can filter the report if we just want to have a look at our alerted results. Or rejected, there is none for this data set. Any that have had the manual status changed. So you do have the ability to change the alerted or rejected status, and it will record who changed it, and you must give a reason. and you can also highlight any results with comments. To the left of each result, you will see a little arrow. Clicking on this arrow allows you to delve further into detail into these lot numbers. So for this top example, we can see level 1 was alerted. By clicking on there, we can see the reason for the alert. It can give us the review comment that was added, the alert rules, and our SDI. By double clicking on that, allows me to go in more detail and then add more manual status comments if I wanted. I can change this to accepted, or I can add a comment into this result. So that is the result history screen. I'm sure you'll agree it gives a lot of information which will be very useful to any lab. The next part of the software I'm going to draw your attention to are the reports. So within the reports section, there are 5 different reports. We have the statistical analysis report, statistical matrix report, peer group statistics report, uncertainty of measurement report, and our exception report. All the reports are very simple to use. Just select your date range, select the peer you would like to be shown, and select the format here of the report. Automatically, the peer group is set to world. However, if you're part of a large laboratory group or a hospital group, you can change this to just be compared to your group. For the purpose of this report, it automatically is filtered to assay, but we can filter the report to instrument or method. And you may notice there's a button here named Use Alternate Lots. And this is for increasing your peer group size. If you are running an assayed control, it's quite likely Randox also have a version of that control which is unassayed. By selecting Use Alternate Lots, you can compare those two controls to increase your peer group size. These reports cover quite a lot of information, okay? They will present every assay that your lab has and the information on it for this specific date range, and also give you your cumulative statistics. So for this, we are looking at the participants' data for the date range, the 24th of April 2021 to Monday the 24th of May 2021. We have our instrument here and we have our assays. Let's have a look at our C311 data. The report will present data as it becomes available. However, this orange bar is our loading bar, and because of the amount of data, it needs to travel the whole way across. Just like our previous screen, we can increase our items per page. I'll just do that to 50. And we can see here now quite a lot of the data is coming through for the C311. The data that's displayed here will be the count of results, the mean, the SD, the CV, and the SDI and CBI for this date range here. Then to the right we have the cumulative statistics giving us the same information just since we started using these lot numbers. And on the right hand side we have our world peer group statistics giving us number of results, the mean, the SD and the CV for our peer group. And this is people using the same controls for the same instruments and the same lot numbers. At the top we have the ability, just like the result history, to export to Excel or PDF. PDF is quite useful because it will provide you with a date and also request a signature, so you can store this away locally in a QC folder to confirm review. And if we export to Excel, we see the data displayed in the same format, only in an Excel. And this means that If your lab is used to reporting in a different format or displaying the information in a certain way, it's different to how 24/7 does it, well then you have the ability just to export all this information and display it in a way that suits your laboratory. And just for the purpose of the demo, I will show you the PDF export. Okay, so here we have the statistical analysis report, and if we scroll to the bottom, we can see the date and time that this was printed, the user that created it, and the ability to sign on the right hand side for your QC review. Our next report I'll show you is the Statistical Matrix report. Again, this report follows a similar layout to the statistical analysis report. You select your date range, your peer group or your local hospital group, and your report format or filtering, and select the Run button. As the information is collected, it will be displayed to you, but again, this loading bar will go to the top because it's displaying all the information for your lab. It's the same reporting layout, however, on this report, we are looking at our percentage bias, our CV, our sigma score, and our total allowable error for the participants' specific date range. We also have the same reporting for the cumulative statistics, and then we have our peer group statistics. And on the right hand side, we have target values both for total allowable error and total bias, target bias. Just like our last report, we can export this to Excel or PDF, allowing the lab to automatically calculate sigma scores and total error at the click of a button. Our next report I will show you will be the peer group statistics report. And every time a customer sends data to 24/7, it stores it and makes it available to other users in the peer group statistics report. This report is very simple to use. Simply on the left hand side, enter in the control lot number. Let's look up our popular chemistry control 320UL. We can select a specific analyte to look at, but we'll just leave this blank for now. We can select, it's automatically filtered to pull all the peer group data, or we can select data from a specific date range. I will just leave it to all for this example and click the Run button. This report is quite useful if you've just moved on to a new control lot and you would like to see what data other users have been submitting for the assays contained within this control. And again, we can see it starts in alphabetical order, and we're looking at a lot of alk-phos results, the different measuring units people are using, the number of results, the mean, SD, CV, and the size of the peer group. And this is a total number. We have a total of 45 users sending data for alk-phos, and then this is broken down further by instrument, by method, by machines. And we'll just expand that. We have our Abbott machines, our Bachmann, our Fujis, our Roche Cobuses. You can see here quite an extensive list of instruments from users all sending data. And this will give you quite a lot of data for, especially if you're selecting a control as I have, such as the chemistry. At page 5, we're still on A, so AST. And this report again will need to scroll to the very top. You have the ability to export to PDF or to Excel, assisting your lab with validating new IQC or troubleshooting some IQC errors. The next report I will show you will be the uncertainty of measurement report. This is extremely simple. We just select our date range. So I will show you for this example. We will select the month of March 2021. So we want to see the data from the 1st of March to the 31st of March. And this will display the data for every assay your lab has on 24/7. I will just expand our results per page. And again, as the data is ready, it's produced to you. And what we are looking at here is the assay name, the instrument, the lot number, the number of results, the mean, and then our uncertainty of measurement statistics. The software will use a calculation between your intra and inter precision. However, intra precision must be entered in manually, and if it's not entered in manually, as we have here for the top two, it will just calculate your uncertainty of measurement based on your inter precision, which is still correct. We have here the figure of the uncertainty of measurement, and then we have it expanded to SD. And then over here we have percentage, uncertainty of measurement displayed as a percentage. This is something that has been a painstaking process for many laboratories throughout the world, and now they have the ability to generate a report calculating their uncertainty of measurement in a matter of seconds. Again, the ability here to export to Excel and export to PDF. And the fifth report available to all users is the exception report. Very similar to maybe a histogram chart. This has given us the percentage number of results within 2 SDI, the percentage and number of results between 2 and 3 SDI, and the percentage and number of results greater than 3 SDI. The items per page I will extend to 50. And also I will highlight the ability to select the headings at the top to filter. Okay, so one click will filter by the lowest number, second click will filter by the highest number. And very, very quickly, you now have a report that will display an assay's performance given a summary of time, but you can very quickly identify if it's a high performing safe assay or if it's a troublesome assay, allowing you to make decisions on how often you want to QC each assay, how tight you want the rules to be on each assay, and you have evidence now to back up your decision making process. You have the ability, just like the other reports, to export to Excel and export to PDF. So that's the 5 reports I've shown you today. Very simple and very useful, I hope you'll agree. What we will move on to now are the charts. Located within the chart section. So Acusera 24/7 comes with 3 different charts. We have our Levi-Jennings chart, we have the histogram, and we have our performance summary chart. So for the purpose of this, we'll look at the Levi-Jennings chart first, and we will filter by our C311. And let's have a look at our C311 performance. We want to highlight the different assays. So for this, we will highlight the first 5. We will select next. To generate our chart, we want to set a date range. So for this, we will look again at March 2021 data. Okay, so we have selected our date range, so the 1st of March 2021 to the 31st of March 2021. It automatically is going to display us all 3 lot numbers. Okay, we'll just leave those turned on for now. These other functions I will take you through in a moment. Once you're ready, you'll click Generate for your chart, and it will display the charts below. So each chart will have its own heading. So we are looking at albumin, BCG method on our C311, and here's our chart for March. And we can see a number of results here, a number in red, a number in orange, some green, and again these will reflect the multi-rules that you have created on the account. Anything red has been rejected, anything in amber has been alerted, and anything in green has been accepted. By hovering over any of the results, we can see the information of that result. We can see the date and time the result was run, the actual result with SDI, and the reason for it being alerted. Okay, for this one, 10 results same side of the mean. We have our red result here, and the reason why this was rejected. I'll also highlight the fact that you can see some results are circular and some are triangular. Once a comment has been added to a result, it then becomes a triangle to indicate that this result has a comment attached to it. The comment can be seen at the bottom. This result here, for example, has no comment just yet. Below the chart, you will see our axis is plus or minus 3 SDI, and we have our date range at the bottom. We can also plot mean lines by selecting here, and we can see a clear shift from negative to positive for this assay. If we scroll on down, we have our second chart, which is our level 2 albumin. And again, the same information, same color coding. If we scroll on down, we have our level 3. Sorry, our level 3. Our mean here is 56.543. Now I'll point out at this stage that if a lab operates with a fixed mean, the fixed mean will appear here. If a lab operates with a running mean or cumulative mean, the software will automatically calculate that mean and display it here. You have the choice to use either a fixed or a cumulative mean in 24/7. If we scroll on down, we can see more of our charts. And what I'm going to show you now, if I scroll back to the top, okay, you have the ability to print these out and export or save to PDF, but you also have this combine function, which is a useful function. So by selecting the combine function and generating new charts, what the software will then do is take all the charts that we were looking at below and plot them onto a single Levi Jennings chart. In doing so, you then have one chart with all your assay performance, and there is no limit to how many assays or levels of IQC you can have on these charts. Each will be given a different color, and by hovering over them we can see that accentuated on the chart. Now obviously with this chart I have selected, it does look very busy. But what we can do at any part is click and drag on the graph and it will zoom in for us. We can reset the zoom here, and below we can turn off some of the charts that are being displayed. So let's say for this example, we just want to look at our level 1 IQC on the one chart. I'm just turning off now our level 2 and level 3 IQCs, and now the chart will just display how level 1 chemistry control is performing across multiple different analytes. Hopefully you'll agree this can be a very useful feature. You also have the ability to add multiple instruments on here, so you can compare assay performance across multiple instruments within your lab. Scrolling back up, we also have the ability to change our SDI, which is currently fixed to plus or minus 3 SDI. We can change that to variable, which means our axis will be extended to the furthest away SD point. And if your lab runs performance limits, you can generate these charts based on your performance limits. I'm not sure if this lab that we're looking at the minute does. We can have a look and see. Oh, they do. So we now have charts rather than generated by SDI, generated by percentage deviation based on the performance limit set. And these performance limits are unique to each lab and you set them yourself. Okay, moving on then, I will just go back and we will look at our histogram for the same. We will select the same month. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the histogram. This is just going to display the percentage of our results within each SDI range, okay? Giving us a good idea if we have a good spread of results across our assays. We can see here straight away, very quick negative bias, like we've seen early by Jennings on albumin on the low level. Here's our level 2 and our level 3. And we can do this for all of our assays. We scroll back up. Just like on our Levi Jennings, we have the ability to combine this histogram. And we can look at every assay that we are running on a single histogram chart. And again, just like on our Levi Jennings, we will have the ability to switch on or switch off below the chart assays. So if we again only wanted to look at our level 1 IQC, we will just click on the level 2 and level 3, which will deactivate them. No. And now we are just looking at level 1 IQC combined on our histogram. Sorry. There we go. You have the ability again to print these or export to PDF. Okay, very useful. And then finally, we have our performance summary charts. Okay, these are very similar to any EQA reports you will receive. This will display the assay's performance in a chart compared to the peer group. And we have our penalty box chart here. We're looking at our albumin result here with 74 results for the specific date range, and we have over 11,000 results from the peer group. We have the mean SD and CV and that figure plotted on the chart, giving us very good performance for our albumin when compared to the peer group. We scroll on down and we can see albumin level 2, very good performance. Albumin level 3, very good performance. So you no longer need to wait for your EQA results to come in to see how your lab compares to your peer group. You can run this for any date range you select. For this example, we're just looking at the whole month of March and how this lab's data compares to the peer group. And just like our histogram and our Levi Jennings, we have the ability to combine multiple analytes onto the single chart, and we can then print or export this chart. Again, we have the ability to turn these off below. And further on down, we can see the individual statistics for this data set. And we can see for this control, we have quite a large peer group. Very good for comparison. So that is our 3 charts. A few more areas that I will show you before we finish. So within configuration, you have a number of different options, okay? First thing I'm going to show are multi-rules. So the software will come pre-configured with all the Westguard multi-rules. And then each lab, all they need to do is turn them on or turn them off. Okay, so from here we can see the rules that this lab is using for albumin. If we wanted to create new rules, we just double click on the assay and we can see a list of all the multi-rules on the left hand side. And if we wanted to turn them on for alerts or rejects, and we would just click save. These can be backdated, so once you have results in there, you can then set up the multi-rules and it will look at all previous results and highlight any rule breaches for you on the data set. Also within 24/7 in configuration we have our target section. And I mentioned before, a lab can run with either a fixed target, or if they don't have a fixed target, they can just leave it to run at a cumulative target. Once the software has 20 results, the cumulative target will be calculated on an ongoing basis. And again, this can be changed at any time by applying the target to a fixed and changing the effective from date here. And you can backdate any of your targets. You'll also see you also have the ability to use Randox assigned targets if you're purchasing a assay control from Randox, saving you time in setting up your targets. You can set targets across multiple instruments very quickly by just filtering this table below and setting them as such. And finally, within configuration is also where you'll enter your intra-precision if you're using this as part of your uncertainty of measurement calculation, and that is simply just entering it in here. So going back to the home screen, we have had a look through user and configuration, touched on data entry, went into detail for results history, reports and charts. I've explained import. We also have a dashboard function which will display any rule violations for the previous 7 days up here as alarms. This will continually update for you, allowing you an easy place to go to initially to have to see which assays require your immediate attention before you have to run any reports or charts. We also have two final sections here. We have utilities and the help section. Within utilities, you will have the option to copy targets across multiple machines if you have a number of different lines and you wanted to run the same targets across here. We also have our auditing section, which records every interaction that you or your staff will make on the software. And then we have our change perform that within change control set. Where I want to draw your attention to in utilities is data review. Data review allows you to locate multiple rule violations and add a number of comments. So if we had, for example, the 10x rule as is highlighted here, we can add multiple comments all in one go, so that you can be acknowledging any result that has a rule violation against it. And then you also have the ability within this section to export to Excel and your PDF. We can filter by instrument to just look at specific instrument rule violations, and we can filter by lot numbers to just look at specific lot number rule violations. And then the other part within our utility section is our data export. This allows you to export multiple assay data onto an Excel, and this can be very useful if you're initially validating a new IQC, such as a chemistry control or immunoassay control, where you could be running a number of different assays. Therefore, validating a QC of this magnitude can take some time. But once the data is in 24/7, you can export it all to Excel, and it will give you your statistics for the data set, giving you your count, your mean, your SD. Just select up here the date range that you want to use and click the export function, allowing you to very quickly establish new means and SDs for IQC in a few clicks. And that information is located here in the Statistics tab. We are looking at albumin. We have our cumulative, monthly, and date range statistics. Date range is what's important for this example. Then we have our alk-phos, ALT, our amylase, and our AST information. And then finally, I'll draw your attention to the help section. Randox will provide ongoing support for the duration that you have Acusera 24/7. We have a team of administrators based here in our science park, and we have multiple product specialists that can help you get the most out of the software. But if you are stuck, you also have the user guide. The user guide is a very detailed document detailing every area of 24/7 with an interactive contents page. So if you did need some help with creating a new user, you just go to the contents page, select creating a new user, and it will take you through to the section and give you step-by-step instructions on how to create a new user. This is a very useful document and something that we refer to all the time in Randox. You have information on the reports, on the charts. Everything is included within this document, and it should be your first protocol. And that is all I'm going to show you in today's demonstration of the software. I hope you found that very informative and useful. And with that, I will close the session. Just keep an eye on the marketing emails because we will be running further sessions on our Acusera 24/7 series. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for listening.